High wind warnings, they are panning out as serious trouble in some spots in the valley this morning. People in one North Fargo neighborhood called for help overnight because a tree was on fire.
XL repair crews and Fargo firefighters were dispatched to 10th Street North near 11th Avenue on reports of arcing power lines. Fire crews say the wind was blowing the lines against the tree, exposing live wires and then igniting the tree. Fire crews are also keeping a close eye on the area where a large grass fire caused some roads to shut down in Polk County temporarily. The Minnesota State Patrol says it's near Highway 32, south from Highway 2, right near Mentor, which is east of Crookston.
Smoke was so bad last night that both Highway 2 and 32 were shut down for a time. The latest update from state troopers is that they have since reopened those roads. And we are also hearing just this morning of a large grass fire near Milner, North Dakota. One of our viewers on Facebook says fire crews from several communities are helping to bring that under control. We'll have more information on that as it becomes available. A man who was among onlookers shouting at a Minneapolis police officer to get off of George Floyd last May returns to the stand this morning. That's the day after he described seeing Floyd struggle for air and, as he put it, slowly fade away. Former wrestler Donald Williams testified on day one of the Derrick Chauvin trial that he thought Chauvin used a shimmying motion several times, which could have increased pressure on Floyd.
The central focus of the trial will be whether that pressure killed Floyd or if a medical condition combined with drugs killed him. Meanwhile, security is tight and the National Guard is standing by as the Chauvin trial enters day 2 today in Minneapolis. Yesterday, both sides presented their opening arguments and the first witnesses took the stand, including a 911 dispatcher who called a police sergeant after getting a gut feeling something was not right while watching the arrest on a surveillance camera.
Chauvin is facing murder and manslaughter charges in the death of George Floyd. That trial is expected to last 4 weeks. We are streaming that trial. Now you can watch it on our website along with the VNL News app.
It is now 7 minutes before 7. Still windy out there as we start our day. Let's get a check of our forecast with Lisa Green.
Good morning. Yeah, the wind not easing up for us just yet. And on top of that, it's colder out there for today, too. Here's a look at one of our viewer photos from yesterday's experience trying to get home. And this is along Highway 281 in the Edgeley area, North Dakota. Brandon took this shot from his vehicle and looks like the passenger side. That's good. We want you to be safe. And looking at not much to see, just barely can see the road lines there in our view because of the dust and dirt that was getting whipped around. And we will see more of that likely this morning for your morning commute. We do have that high wind warning that remains in effect here until 7 a.m. So just a few more minutes left on that in the darker teal color. And once that expires, those areas will join the wind advisory that's in effect. It's been extended now until 7 o'clock tonight, this evening. So we're under wind advisory that long. That gives you an idea of how long we're going to be dealing with these windy conditions here in the valley. Winds currently out of the west. We have gusts still well into the 40s, a 47-mile-per-hour gust in Langdon, 43 in Grand Forks. Those are the yellow numbers in our boxes there, 44 in Devil's Lake. That wind eventually turns northwesterly today, and that's going to bring about some cold air. Check out the flag at Home of Economy. It's just holding on for dear life here with the wind really whipping. And we're going to be seeing conditions with the camera shaking there too, like this off and on throughout the day. Steady speeds again into the 20s and 30s. We've got mostly cloudy skies. And you see there, Detroit Lakes, Thief River Falls, reporting some snowflakes too. Some snow showers possible today with temperatures right now in the teens and 20s. Wind chills that are even lower. You're going to want to layer up and cover up here today. A look at your radar. You can see that the radar detecting some areas of snow, but there also may be some dirt and dust getting lofted as well that it's detecting too. But this is all part of that bigger system that's going to have its influence on us for the next 12 plus hours or so before it finally starts to ease up. And here's a look at our wind gust planner. This is the numbers on this map are your wind gusts here. I know it looks like a temperature map, but these are your winds. And notice as we head through time, noon hour, we're still looking at gusts into the 40s, even 50 miles per hour can't be ruled out. And this continues into the afternoon. Drive time tonight, northwesterly winds into the 40s. Eventually they do ease up late. Notice by 10 o'clock, we're seeing those gusts really start to weaken, and we're looking at much better conditions too for overnight tonight and into tomorrow. But it's going to be windy throughout the day today. Be ready for that. Be ready for visibility reductions. And yes, even some snow showers flying by within some of those areas where we're seeing some dust as well. So another wild one today, but you can see we're warming up by the time we end up back into the weekend just in time for the holiday.
Hold your hats and bundle up today. Lisa, thank you.
West Fargo police are releasing the names of 2 more suspects in a drive-by shooting last week that injured a 12-year-old boy. They're looking for Jamon Walker of Glendon, who's charged with conspiracy to commit aggravated assault, and Leotis McGee Jr. of Fargo, who's charged with aggravated assault and reckless endangerment. The shooting took place a week ago Sunday. Police believe it was in retaliation for an earlier dispute.
Deontay Taylor and Garrett Morin, they were arrested last week, and they're charged with conspiracy to commit aggravated assault. Police say Morin says that he and 3 other people drove to West Fargo to buy marijuana, and when they drove past the victim's home, a front seat passenger said, "That's the house," and they fired several rounds into the home before driving away. Police say a child inside that home was hit in the leg by a bullet and may suffer permanent loss or impairment from his injuries. 2 suspects accused in an undercover sting at a North Dakota spa are now pleading guilty to facilitating prostitution in exchange for human trafficking charges being dropped. Police say an undercover officer was offered a sex act at a Bismarck spa last July.
Investigators learned that the massage therapists were flown in and urged to perform sex acts on customers for extra money. Jiang Jennings and Lance Jacobson face similar charges in Dickinson. Police say drunk driving is to blame for a car crash into a North Fargo front yard. Officers were called to the 1500 block of 11th Street North right around 10 last night.
The man who was driving was taken to the hospital, but there's no word on how badly he was hurt. No one else was injured. High winds, they were a factor in a rollover crash of a FedEx truck near Harwood. You can see just how close that vehicle came to dipping right into the river.
Cass County deputies say the driver was on 170th Avenue Southeast last night when a strong gust caused her to veer off the road and roll into the ditch. The driver was taken to the hospital but is expected to be okay. Minnesotans 16 and older can step in line for the COVID-19 vaccine starting today.
That's big news for them, but Clay County Public Health says they are ready. However, they warn that the vaccine supply is limited. The Valley Today's Brian Sherrod joins us live with the details and the issues the county is running into. Good morning, Brian.
And good morning, Jordan and Lisa. This week, Clay County is receiving a very low amount of doses, and that's only 300 first doses of Moderna. Now, this is only a third of the vaccine compared to what they received last week. Now, at this time, they aren't able to vaccinate the 16 and 17-year-olds because only having a Moderna vaccine on hand is just not able to vaccinate that age group. Now, health officials are continuing to work on their targeted groups, being food processors, manufacturers, and those with underlying health conditions. Now, after this group has received their chance of getting vaccinated, the general population is next. This makes it even harder with the vaccine having to be distributed in a 72-hour window. Officials receive the vaccine on Tuesday and have to get it administered by Friday. And at this time, another challenge is just not getting that Johnson & Johnson vaccine.
We just need more vaccine. Once we have more vaccine, we'll be able to get more people vaccinated. So we keep moving in the right direction. I know people are getting tired of being asked to be patient with that, but we're doing everything that we can.
Now, there is some good news. They are allowed to carry over 10% of their unused vaccine. Officials say they have never wasted a single dose of the vaccine as well. Go to valleynewslive.com to see how you can sign up, so when it's your turn, they will reach out to you.
Brian Sherrod reporting live in studio. Thank you for that update.
We now want to get the answer to our question of the morning on Facebook. That question today in a new survey, people were asked to name the #1 thing in their home that doesn't work.
The answer, the ice maker in the fridge. Remember, you can play along every weekday morning by heading to our Valley News Live Facebook page.
The Today Show and CBS This Morning are just about to start, but the Valley Today, it rolls on. More live up-to-the-minute news and weather. We continue to track the high winds in the valley right after this on the Fargo CW. Have a great Tuesday.